Hi, I'm Rick Conlow. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to talk to you about being a superstar and that nothing is impossible. And I firmly believe that everybody has a superstar within. They just don't know it. And that's what this is all about. My business partner, Doug, and I recently have had the opportunity to do research and look at the people we work with, look at the data that's out there, and we've published 4 books: Superstar Leadership, Superstar Sales, Superstar Customer Service, and Superstar Employee. And we looked in that and we found there are some common characteristics that I'm going to share with you about what that's all about. And you know, a lot of times when we think of superstars, we don't think of ourselves. And so we hold ourselves back. We get complacent in terms of what we're capable of doing. I mean, have you ever thought about really trying to go where no person has gone before, let alone yourself? Or take a giant leap forward for your career and your family, and to go for that goal that you always wanted to accomplish. Or just to reach new heights in your personal satisfaction and confidence and competence. And just to have that sense of victory in who you are. Why not? That's what superstars do. And as we studied it, we found some key things that I'm going to share with you. But first, you know, when we think of superstars, we tend to think of people like Wayne Gretzky, you know, one of the greatest hockey players of all time, or Michael Jordan, who, boy, he just put thrills in your spine when you watch him play. Or Roger Federer continues to be a top contender year after year after year. Or, you know, various entertainers like Mark Wahlberg or Beyoncé or Lady Gaga or Pink, who are just at the top of their game. Why not you? That's what I'm saying. Why not you? See, there was a song by Sly and the Family Stone that said, "Everybody is a star." I like that. I remember I was doing a meeting once and I was giving a presentation and I started talking about superstars and everybody said, Chris is it. And I said, what about Chris? And they said, Chris, he's a superstar. And they were pointing at Chris, who was one of 50 sales and service people who continually did a great job at what he did. And that reminded me again of that superstar potential that all of us have. Maybe we won't be as highlighted as the celebrities, but in what we do, in our family, in our niche in life, why not? That's what's possible. And so what have we found that these superstars and what they were capable of? We found that they have a sense of passion about what they do. They love it. And if we can find what we love, we can find the best within us. They also have a sense of purpose, willing to work hard to get it done. They have this vision with that purpose about what it is they want to do and how they're doing it, so they're willing to work hard to get there. And they have this sense of persistence. They're not going to quit. They're going to keep at it. So those 3 things, purpose, passion, and persistence, characterize superstars. Now, if you think you can't be a superstar, think of this. What you'll see here are pictures of 3 gentlemen who were in wars, all at different generations. And what they're doing here is climbing the tallest mountain of Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro. And one of them's name is Kirk Bauer, who is a 62-year-old Vietnam veteran. The other is Neil Duncan, a 26-year-old Afghanistan veteran. And the other is Dan Nevins, a 34-year-old veteran from Iraq. And what do they have in common? They all lost limbs. They had a serious challenge in their life, a war injury. But as the way to refocus and to come together to bring out the best in themselves. And that's what being a superstar is really all about. They started climbing mountains, and they climbed the tallest one in Africa together. That's what I'm talking about, because that took purpose, that took passion, and that took persistence, and you have those same qualities within you. Sometimes it's an obstacle that brings out that best in ourselves, or sometimes it's a new goal and a new focus or desire. Here's another example about the superstar within you. Cliff Meadle. Cliff Meadle was a 20-year-old plumber's apprentice. And he was jackhammering a hole to get to a water pipe. And the water pipe was hard to get at, and he kept at it, and he accidentally put his jackhammer through 3 high voltage cables, and his body instantly received 30,000 volts of electricity. It blew him out of the hole, put a hole in his back, shattered some of his toes, put a hole in his head, and he died. They had to bring him back to life. Hours later, he wakes up on the hospital bed. The doctor looks at him and said, "Cliff, son, I have good news, bad news. The good news is you survived this horrible tragedy. The bad news is you'll never walk again." I don't know about you, that's hard. But Cliff epitomized the superstar within. He began a rehabilitation. It was hard. It was difficult. A friend of his gave him an article about Greg Barton, who had club feet but went on to win Olympic gold in kayaking. Cliff said, "I can't walk. Maybe I can kayak." And so he redoubled his efforts. He proved the doctors wrong. He walked again. In the picture you see him walking because he started learning to kayak and he got good at it, and he eventually tried out for the U.S. Olympic team and he made the team, and here he is leading 602 members, the United States Olympic team, into Sydney Stadium, carrying the American flag. Now, Cliff didn't win gold, but I think you'd agree with me that he was a champion, taking a tragedy, turning into a triumph. That's what superstars do, regardless of circumstances in life. And that's what you have within you. That's the spirit of a superstar. Or here's Vic Vucek. He was born with no limbs, and most people would say, "What a tragedy." You know what he says? No limbs, no limits. He's turned what others would consider a tragedy into victory. And that's what superstars do. See, superstars break through, regardless of the circumstances in life. And so can you. Vic now goes worldwide and speaks to thousands of people and gives them hope about how to overcome the problems that they're facing, little or large, that life really has no limits. It's all in your mind. You know, when people are often asked, would you work for change or just complain about it? 81% reply, "Do I have to pick? This is hard." Sometimes life's challenges are difficult, but I want you to know with a little courage, you can make it happen. The Aqua Marina captured a barracuda and a Spanish mackerel. Spanish mackerel, or the barracuda, likes to eat the Spanish mackerel. They put him in the same tank of water. Here's the Spanish mackerel here. Here's the barracuda. Sees that mackerel, boom, goes after it. Hits the glass plate because they had put a glass plate in between them. The barracuda's over here hungry, goes after it, boom, hits the glass plate. Goes after the mackerel, hits the glass plate, boom, 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 boom. Finally it stops. Goes after it, it stops. And why did it stop? Because it was conditioned that it could only go so far. And that's what gets in the way of the superstar within you. Now the scientists are observing this phenomenon. They take the glass plate out of the water. Here's the mackerel way over here. Here's the barracuda, hungry, sees it, goes after it, stops. Turns away, goes after it, stops. Now there was nothing there. And that's what we face. That's what we often face to keep us from the things we'd like to accomplish in life, to living as fully as we're capable of living. You know, Christopher Reeves, who was Superman in the movies, eventually had an accident, got paralyzed, came back and raised millions of dollars for those who would be paralyzed. And he wrote a book entitled "Nothing is Impossible." That's the attitude of a superstar. And Muhammad Ali, as they called the greatest ever in boxing, said it the other way: impossible is nothing. That's the view of a superstar. I have this dream that soars on golden wings. I visualize your achievements and your legacy that sings. I do not know all about your awesome goals or your persistent efforts to raise the bar. I only know that you can be the best, a superstar. Have a great day.